I was able to get out into my garden this morning just before the sun started to peek up, and wow, there's so much growing in my garden. I feel like such a proud little mom, and I feel like gardeners constantly want to look at the bigger picture and see all the things wrong with their garden, but today I just feel so proud of my garden. It's been such a long journey to even get here. And last spring, all I wanted was just to have things just, growing on their own. And I feel like this is the first spring where I have things that are doing that. They're just growing, they're going, they're doing their thing. The tulips have absolutely exploded. I live in an area that historically does not do really well with tulips. So the fact that I even have tulips at all is honestly amazing to me. I've been on a bit of a tulip journey. Seeing them pop up in my garden just feels like quintessential spring. It just felt like a quintessential spring morning, even though the highs today got up into the 80s. This morning was so nice and peaceful, just being out, no cars, no construction, and just enjoying my garden. It's also crazy to think that just a few days ago, my garden looked entirely different. And today it looks like spring. True to my little mini series, today is a Monday, so we are starting some seeds, though not that many because I have a lot on my plate at the moment, and so gardening time is just like little bits here and there throughout the day. And I really, really, really want cilantro. I love cilantro. I would love to make my own garden salsa. That's kind of like a goal of mine, and cilantro is a key ingredient. So I'm starting my cilantro, even though we are already getting into really, really hot temperatures. I'm hoping that I can sort of finagle the system. We should still have some cool weather coming up, and also this area gets a little bit of afternoon shade, so we'll just have to see. I've tried cilantro before. We'll see how it goes. We might have to try again in the fall, but you never know if you don't try. I also have a little flat of lettuce seeds that I sowed, I believe, on March 4th. So they're just under a month old, and I wasn't really sure where I wanted to put them, but I finally decided to interplant them with a bunch of other stuff that we planted out in another video about a week ago. So they're going in between my beets and my onions and my celery. I'm cramming everything in here. I don't have a lot of growing space. And I also decided to color coordinate the lettuce. So we have a green row and a purple row. If you want to see how my garden changes over the next few weeks, which I think is going to change a lot, be sure to like and subscribe to follow along for my garden diaries and my gardening journey. I'm on a journey. I don't think it'll ever end because I love gardening. So I will be here sharing my garden as much as I can in the season coming up, even though I think it's going to be very busy because I'm starting to do some flower farming. But I thought it would be fun to kind of show you around my greenhouse, which I built myself this winter. So don't judge, okay? Don't judge the exterior, judge what's on the inside. Some of these plants are not doing great. Some of them are doing well, but I thought I would give you a little update, show you what I've been growing in my little greenhouse in zone 7B. Okay, so in this tray, I have some, they're a little sad, but I have some very short zinnia seeds. These are seeds that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they're doing great.
I don't know why or how this nasturtium got in there. I'm not mad about it, but yep, we have a friend. And then in the back are basils, just normal green basil. I think I also got those from the Dollar Tree. And they got a little tall, but they've put on a lot of growth since I potted them up, so I think that's good. This tray is ageratum. Not sure how to pronounce it, but it's like a pretty, really pretty purplish blue. And I potted them into this, and they are very happy because they've grown quite a bit since I did that. But as you can see, there's also some gaps, but I'll show you that I have no fear, it's okay. But I'm very excited for those. They're supposed to dry really good too. I've never grown them myself at all, like for fresh or dried, so it'll be fun to see what they look like. This tray is a bit of a... It's cress, and it has slowly been making its way to germinating, but yeah, I think I should have just direct seeded this instead, but that's okay. They're looking kind of good. We got some really tall ones doing their thing, putting on like several sets of leaves. At first I thought that I might have accidentally used soil that had a bunch of weed seeds in it, but all the seeds look the same, all the little cotyledons, so I'm pretty confident this is all cress, but I've never grown cress either. But it's supposed to be good fresh and dried, and I love those little like textural grass type things, so I think this will be good. This tray is sad. It is very sad, but you know what? It's okay. These are Scabiosa salmon rose. They're like a pink. So they wouldn't be blooming, I don't think, this year for me anyways, but they really need larger pots and more nutrition. They are greening up since I brought them in. They did actually look worse. But I feel like in this greenhouse they get a little bit less direct sunlight. Everything doesn't get too harsh sunlight, so I think it's good for now. And then towards the back is like a whole... I don't know, it's a bunch of stuff. There's like random zinnias that found their way into the mix. And then there's also some dill back there, which I think I kind of want to get planted out anyways. Like now, because I kind of want dill soon. Over here is an herb tray that we potted up together. Oh, so fun. Look, these, all of these are looking really good. And then towards the back we have more of the struggling basil. Not looking as good, but that's okay. It's basil. Then in the back is lemon balm, and it's looking good. We got some true leaves coming in. I think they really enjoyed being potted up. And I've been fertilizing once a week, so everything has been getting a little bit of liquid fish emulsion once a week, and I think that that has really helped the plants that weren't looking too good to look better. Not every plant needs nutrition though, so I'm trying to keep, be aware of what I'm feeding and what I'm not feeding. For example, back here are cosmos, which I did feed, and then they somehow got aphids inside, so I brought them outside, and I stopped feeding them, and they're looking so much better. Cosmos do not like a lot of nitrogen, I think, and they will become giant trees if you do. That happened to me last year. So I was just sort of like haphazardly like watering everything with the emulsion, and I got it on the cosmos, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they showed up the next day. But here we have a little mismatch of everything. We've got like onions in the back, onions here. This is a bulb that I was hoping might flower, I'm not sure. Some marigolds that we started together that need to go up in bigger pots. Then here are some random snapdragons from old seed. So I'll probably just pop those in my front yard. And then we have some of the rudbeckia that we sowed together. You can see I had two different types of rudbeckia that I did. This was from Johnny's seed, which was a year old, and it recommended chilling them, and I didn't. So I think that's why we have such low germination. These are from seeds that I saved myself from my own garden of the same variety. So like I started Johnny's seeds 2 years ago. They grew out into plants. I saved the seed, and that's where these seeds came from. And they look really good, but I think I said in the video I started them that I think that they experienced cold temperatures before I saved them. So they might have gotten sort of some natural chill time before I did this, but they look good. They need to go into bigger pots this week. We'll see if that happens. TBD. And here are straw flower that also need to go into bigger containers. I have a bunch of the cells from Farmer Bailey, the plugs, so I might do that. But we also have one very, very sad Dusty Miller. I think it needs water or a bigger pot. And then a happy one. So one is better than none, I guess. And then the last flat of trays that I have going, we've kind of gone through all of them. This was the mixed. This is the scabiosa, the cress, the ageratum. Oops. Then zinnias and basil. And then here are little lavenders. And I'm actually going to go, I think, to a local, I say local, it's like an hour away from me, nursery, and ask them what the best lavender for our area is. I feel like they would know better than me. So I'm going to go and ask them. I just got this seed from, I think, Target. But the problem for me with lavender is keeping it alive. So it needs well-draining soil, and I think I just need to mix in sand with whatever soil I put these into next, because, yeah, they're from the Mediterranean, I think, and they like well-draining hot conditions. So that is what I want to provide them, but I don't know how. So I'm going to try to ask somebody who knows. Then, if we come off the table, we got all the little plants. Everything can basically go out in the garden now, which is cool. We might have some lower temperatures in about a week, and then after that, whoops, everything should be good. Over here are my tomatoes, which I did a bad job of labeling, so they're going to need to just all stay with me because I don't know what's what, basically. But here's the rest of the ageratum. So I started a ton of seed not realizing that this would happen because I'd never grown it before. But I saved these kind of as backups, and they kind of look happier than some of the ones in the trays. So I'm going to just leave these guys and maybe just pot them up soon. But it's nice having them as backups, I guess. Then we have some yarrow that I'm propagating from some Coronation Gold, I believe. So these would be a yellow color. The problem with the Coronation Gold variety is that it flops. It tends to flops over, so people are transitioning to other types of yellow, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. Cute. Then off the table, tomatoes are back there. Window. I brought in this little shelf is where I had all my pots, and it looks really crooked because it's crooked in here. But I've got some fun things going here. These are bunny tails. These are all bunny tails that I transplanted just to see if they like that, because normally grasses, or in my experience, grasses can be kind of sensitive, but they're doing great. They're thriving. So I still have all the other ones here not separated out, but now I know that they can handle that, so that's good. And here is my Eryngium, which I started from seed with everybody, and they're looking really good. They like being in this bigger pot. They started putting on a lot of growth since I did that. Oops, got the Eryngium. And this guy, I'm just noticing, looks really sad. This is an artichoke. I don't know why it looks so sad, but the other ones look okay. They still have that bottom leaf is dying, which I don't know what that is all about. If you know, let me know. But anyways, little baby artichokes. I've been fertilizing them. Maybe they don't need that. I'll look that up. But little artichokes. I have some random tulip bulbs that did not do what I wanted them to do, so I'm letting them dry out. And I'll separate them out and try again next year, I guess. I don't know. I'm doing a big tulip experiment, if you don't know, aka trying to figure out tulips for me. And all of these did not bloom, but they split. So they started making babies, which is what they do. That's how they make more tulips of the same type. But then at the very top of this shelf, whoops, are the nasturtiums. These are a green coneflower. I think it's called Allen's Pride from Botanical Interest. So I have 3 of those. So yeah, those are the Allen's Pride, and then nasturtiums. I've never grown nasturtiums, so we'll see how they do. They're supposed to be a catch thing for pests. We'll see. I didn't really have many aphid problems. The only thing I had problems with aphids was my sweet peas. But my sweet peas are looking really good, and I've been feeding them every week, so hopefully they will be very resilient and healthy. So that is everything that I have in my greenhouse. I know from experience that if it were to get to like 32 degrees or just freezing, everything in here would not freeze. It would be okay. I don't think it would be that much to bring them inside or protect them. So I've been very conservative on what's in here. I think in the fall, this will be a very productive space. But for now, this is what it looks like. We'll see. I need to finish the table. These things are just resting like on the wood framing. But we'll see if that happens. Probably not anytime soon. It's not a priority. But yeah. These tomatoes can basically go in the ground, so I don't even have to really, I think, pot them up, which I think was accidental good timing on my end. I'm not a big tomato person, but I love red sauce, so maybe I am a big tomato person. Who knows? They just have a lot of like problems with them, growing them, especially here where it's so hot and humid. So we'll see, but it's my little grown space. What do you think?
So my little tulip experiment has had many ups and downs, many trials and tribulations, and honestly, at this point, I am just so in awe of the fact that I have these long, tall, beautiful tulips. As you can also see, not all of my tulips are like this. There's definitely a difference in bulb quality, and I also think planting time as well. And then the one thing that none of us can control, but we rely on so much, is the weather. So we had a very cold winter, which I think was good for these tulips that got planted late. The first batch that you saw me cutting were planted on November 30th, which is like 2 months later than they quote unquote should be planted. This other batch was planted about a month or so later, so they still got quite a bit of chill time, and they are of a different bulb quality, so my experiments were not scientific at all. I'm just happy to have tulips. I'm over the moon. I'm thrilled. It proves to me that I can grow tulips in my garden. I just need to, have more experience with them, do more research, figure out the varieties, figure out the timing, figure out how I want to grow them. These are in a raised bed, which is different than growing them in the ground. And I've also been trying to figure out a way to basically save or recycle the bulbs. If it even works, it might not work. But basically, I'm going bulb by bulb and making decisions on whether or not to save them. This is definitely not scalable for like large scale flower growers. But for me, a little small scale hobby farmer in my backyard, playing around and experimenting, I'm gonna give some things a try. I'm a scientist. I'm a STEM girly at heart. And yeah, so some of the bulbs that have little baby bulblets and extra leaves coming out, I've been cutting all the way back and letting those leaves hopefully photosynthesize and regenerate the bulb. And yeah, I kind of go bulb by bulb and make decisions. I want to do a tulip recap, but for now, enjoy what my garden is looking like at the end of March, because I definitely am. Even though I have some freaky tulips, I love them. I love this bright orange. This is a Queen's Day double tulip from Johnny's, and they are so beautiful. They're not very tall, but I just love this color. This is my like purple and orange garden, and I feel like it's doing its thing, and I love that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe. I have tulip updates. I have a garden tour. I have a bunch of stuff that I want to show you and share with you, but I want them to be like just right. I feel like this is my diary and this is a journal, and I want to be able to look back on videos and not have rushed them, if that makes sense. So I'll keep sharing my garden this spring, sharing my tulip growing journey, sharing my flower farming journey. And yeah, if you want to see any of that or all of it, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Here's me picking some of my favorite tulips this year, / the only tulips I've ever grown. These are Ivory Floridale, and I love them. Okay, happy spring.